We all know the Valentine's Day drill. Fighting for a reservation months in advance, sitting inches away in a very small restaurant next to strangers we don't know, and paying double for a set menu that's just okay. But what if I told you that the most romantic table is in town and it's just right in your own home, in your own kitchen? Today we're skipping the crowds and the chaos. I'm showing you how to craft a restaurant quality Valentine's Day dinner that's intimate, impressive, and surprisingly stress-free. Whether you're cooking for a longtime partner, a new flame, or even a Galentine's feast with your best friend, there's something so much more meaningful about a meal made by hand. On the menu tonight, we have surf and turf, a perfectly seared ribeye paired with a creamy shrimp orzo, chicken parmesan with the side salad, and marinated pork chops served over a bed of fluffy rice. This sauce is so good, it should come with a ring. So pour yourself a glass of wine or whatever you want to drink, tie on that apron, and let's make February 14th one to remember. Let's get cooking.
I should really start off by thanking Butcher Box and Caraway for this opportunity. I was able to work with Chef Jason Goldstein, known as Chop Happy. All the protein in this video was sent to me by Butcher Box, and I am so in love with my new stainless steel pan from Caraway. We're starting strong with the ultimate luxury, surf and turf. We're pairing a perfectly seared ribeye with a creamy shrimp orzo. Just look at this marbling on the steak. For a ribeye, you want that fat to render down into liquid gold. A heavy sprinkle of kosher salt and cracked pepper is all it needs, but I'm gonna use this steak seasoning from Butcher Box. Let's set this aside and work on the orzo. So this is normally supposed to be a risotto dish, and I had abundance of orzo, so I decided to work with pasta. Heat olive oil in a large pan over medium-high and add your garlic. Add your shrimp, season it with seafood seasoning, and cook this for about 1 to 2 minutes per side until it's just opaque, and remove it. But don't clean the pan because we need all the goodness. Add in your shallots and cook it until it's soft. And then add in the orzo and toast it for about 1 to 2 minutes. Make sure to constantly stir when you're making risotto or orzo. Add in your white wine and reduce the heat to medium. Add your chicken stock, 1 ladle at a time. I had this heating on the side. Stir this constantly and allow each addition to absorb before adding more. Continue to stir this for 20 minutes until the rice or orzo is al dente and about 1/4 cup of your stock is remaining. Reduce the heat to low and stir in your butter and Parmesan cheese until it's glossy. Add some vinegar to really brighten up this dish, and then stir in the lemon pepper seasoning. Gently fold shrimp into the pan and keep warm over very low heat, and we'll move on to our stainless steel pan to cook the steak. This is actually my very first time using a stainless steel pan to cook steak, but Chef Jason was able to guide me through this to make the most tender and amazing steak. That's the sound of love right there. Once we get really nice color on both sides, we're gonna baste it in butter, garlic, but I didn't have whole garlic, so I just didn't use garlic. But if you have it, make sure to use it, and fresh thyme until it's got that beautiful crust. While the steak rests, and please always allow your steak to rest, we're gonna revive this orzo dish with the remaining stock. I mean, look at the steak. I cut into it and it's a perfect medium rare. So I gave it a taste, and yes, of course, it was delicious. I was so excited with how tender it was, even though it was a frozen steak. And let's get assembling. We'll lay in this plate a good generous amount of our shrimp orzo and then put some steak on top. Oh my god, I want to eat this again. This dish is rich, it's elegant, and it's the perfect start to our triple threat dinner. Let's give it a taste.
The first steak I cooked in the pan. That is so good.
That's delicious.
Do you think this would be a good Valentine's Day dinner?
Better than the ones I overcooked last year.
They say the way to someone's heart is through their stomach, but I think the real secret is the effort we put into a meal at home. Next up, we're heading to Italy, or at least the best version of it in my kitchen, chicken Parmesan. There's something so satisfying about the crunch of a breaded cutlet meeting a bright, tangy marinara sauce. To me, this chicken cutlet feels very Korean because my mom would always make us tonkatsu or pork cutlets. It was always as thin as this and as good as this. Growing up, I preferred chicken over pork, so I would make this with chicken instead, so I know a thing or two about these breaded cutlets. I forgot to season this, so maybe I don't know a thing or two. Just letting you know, this is a common theme for me in this video. You'll see what I mean with the third recipe. But the key here is the breading station. Flour, egg wash, and then panko.
Not gonna fit.
We fry them up until they're golden brown. I absolutely love the sound of these frying up. It sounds like rain to me. I always laugh when people make TikToks about falling asleep to rain sounds, like ASMR, and then they can't sleep because it sounds like fried chicken, and it's hilarious to me because it's so true. With normal Italian chicken Parmesan, we top them with some marinara and mozzarella cheese, but I'm gonna do a different version today because I want to make my chicken as crispy as possible, not doused in sauce. So I'll heat up the marinara and mozzarella cheese on a pan and cover the lid so that the cheese melts. It's kind of like a steaming mechanism. Then I'll slide this onto my chicken along with the side salad to balance out all that decadence. A little acidity from a balsamic glaze is exactly what you need to cut through the richness of the cheese and fried chicken. It's a classic, it's timeless, and it's a crowd pleaser for a reason. Now for the dish that might just change your life, marry me pork chops. If you've ever heard of the chicken version, you know the vibes, but these pork chops take it to a whole new level. Cover each side of the pork chops with flour. The mistake I made was not seasoning the meat before dredging it in flour, but please make sure to do that. We're searing these thick cut chops until they're juicy and tender. Sear each side, like every single side, because you want a super crispy exterior no matter which angle you're cutting it from. But the real magic, it's in the sauce. I added some sun-dried tomatoes to this. Don't worry about the texture of these, it was in the fridge, so that olive oil kind of hardened, but it'll loosen up in the heat in no time. I added some thyme because I think heavy cream and thyme is the best combination. It's so earthy and homey. Now add in the heavy whipping cream. Let this bubble up and thicken. And it's at this point that I realized I forgot to season the pork chops first. But it's all good. I'm just going to go ahead and season it right now with some salt and zesty lemon pepper seasoning. I felt like the lemon pepper will really help brighten up the whole dish. Some recipes will want some extra flour in this to really thicken up the sauce, but thyme will do its thing and get the perfect consistency without the extra flour. I added some water and I'm going to cover the lid on this pan because I want to ensure that the inside is fully cooked. The perfect internal temperature for pork chops is about 145 to 150 degrees Fahrenheit. Once it reaches that temperature, let it rest for like 3 minutes and recheck the pork chops. Long time ago, people would say 160 degrees Fahrenheit is a safe route, but that just makes the pork chops like really dry and not enjoyable to eat. I was thinking about pairing this meal with pasta, but we've already had enough pasta and I thought some fluffy white rice would be so good. So we'll plate this up with some rice and a light dust of freshly grated Parmesan cheese. Make sure that you add enough sauce on top of the pork chops. The rice soaks it all up like a sponge, ensuring every forkful is a perfect 10. Three dishes, one night, and a whole lot of love. There's something incredibly special about taking the time to cook a meal like this for the person you love, or even just for yourself.
Even if I forgot to season it, it's still very good.
It's not just about the food. It's about the memories made between the stove and the table. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I hope your night is as delicious as this one, and thanks for spending it in the kitchen with me. Cheers!